there, and we'll have some reminders about that throughout. So you can direct any friends that were interested that couldn't make it tonight to our website, to the town hall page.
About I tell the housebound to stop and we get started. Let me go back to share this screen. Eric, you want to start recording? Hi, everybody. It is so nice to see you guys. Friends, longtime friends, for the Welcome to Adat Plus Town Hall meeting. We are going to go over, first of all, I've said it multiple times, I'll say it again. If you have questions, ask them in the chat so we can answer your questions throughout or at the end, and so you don't forget your questions. Also, some of you, your videos are still off. I understand. If you can, we'd love to see your face. And let's get started. So the agenda for this evening is right here. We're going to tell you what it is, what will it grow to be, and what it's going to be during this time. And then we're going to go over your questions and answers. Your tour guide for this evening's presentation, Town Hall, is myself, Ori Zadok, Early Childhood Center Director, and I'm taking the lead on helping to create what is Adat Plus. But I say take the lead because it's not just me, it's a whole team of us at Adat Ariel creating this and making this happen for our families. And then Eric Nicastro, our executive director, is here with us to guide us along on this journey of what this new exciting program is. I am personally very excited to get this on its way. First, Eric, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna give a little history of, I think it was before Eric even joined Adat Ariel, we began having conversations as senior staff around having a child care program where we were able to support and provide childcare to our families that have their children in the surrounding area schools, and to support our day school with childcare as well. And also what else we could do with that, and helping to engage young children and their families in programming, enrichment on our campus, and all of it to have a Jewish flair to it. So it's really exciting to be able to be bringing this to all of you and to the Adat community. Eric Nicastro.
Hi, everybody, and thank you again for joining us this evening. So one of the first things I talked about when I was originally actually interviewing for the position at Adat Ariel was about the lack of what really is a Jewish community center in the San Fernando Valley. There used to be one on Burbank Boulevard right by Adat Ariel, and many years ago it closed its doors. And there has been a lot floating around between many synagogues in the Valley about the necessity to be able to offer a space where kids can come after school. There can be enrichment, there can be homework club, there can be expansion of Jewish learning. And it was something that I talked about as a need in the community. And as Ori mentioned, it had already started to be a conversation at Adat Ariel. And so we were very aligned in that concept and that vision. Over the last few years, we have started to plant the seeds of a program like this. And the idea is that in the future, hopefully COVID will not be a thing we're dealing with in another year or two. And what we really envision is an after-school program, 5 days a week, where we have transportation, picking up kids from local schools, dropping them off at Adat Ariel, and parents have a place to leave their kids. We also have preschool, after-school programs that play into that. Our day school after school programs would all come under that one umbrella. And we would be kind of the third place. You know, Starbucks many years ago talked about you have work, home, and then Starbucks, and that was their mission. And when we introduced our cafe, started upgrading our facility, the plan was to eventually get to this place. And so we were using the opportunity, as someone once said, don't let a good crisis go to waste, to try to implement now programs. And Ori will talk about what this will look like now. But what I would say is keep in mind that whatever it's going to be during COVID, the vision is to evolve it into after school programming for our kids in the day school, the preschool, and members of Adat, not members of Adat from local elementary schools that we can bring on our campus. We can give transformative experiences to, we can connect them to our institution and really transform Adat REL into being a center of Jewish life. And that will hopefully get more people hooked into our religious school, our JLC, into our B'nai Mitzvah program, into more families joining. That's really the concept. And so we're excited because we believe this will kick it off. There's also mini camps and summer camp. We had dipped our toe in the water summer camp the last couple of years. It has been something we've done in the past, but we want it to be all integrated with a staff that works on this after school program during the year and mini camps during the school breaks, and then our summer camps during the summer. So there's consistency in the quality of what we're offering. I'll kick it back over to you, Ori.
Thank you, Eric. Personally, for me, everything that Eric just said and everything that Eric and I have been talking about for the last few months now is so exciting to be able to bring to Adat REL and to have this ability to bring all of our children together through the day school, through that have come up through the ECC, that might have gone to other schools in the area, and really have them together for several hours a day so they can continue to have those relationships. It's just going to be such an awesome opportunity. And those of you that have children that have gone either way know the value of being able to bring them back. And this program is going to do that. And it's just such an exciting thing that we've created. What is Adat Plus right now, though? What are we looking to create for now? There is a need right now where families are at home with their children who are in their virtual classrooms while a parent is trying to do their job, trying to do whatever else they need to do, while having to also help support their child. This would alleviate some of that pressure on you as a parent. Provide your child, provide you with some freedom to do your thing, but also provide your child with peer socialization and other fun activities to get them out of the house and moving their body and those other really important things that children need to be doing, and not just schooling, but learning and engaging. So that's the idea of right now. What does that look like? That looks like children in small pods, no more than 10, with one supervisor, staff member supervising that group of 10, ensuring that they are on their device, logged in, focused. If they need help with anything that they're doing, to support them with that, to be there to help them stay engaged in their online class, all the things that you are doing at home with them, to have our staff be able to support them in that. But also our staff would provide them with activities to do outside of their online school, but the ability to play foosball or to play ping pong or to run around a little bit, and those things. The pods will be based off of not in age groups. It will be based off of siblings will be in the same pod, more or less along schedules too. But those are also going to be, we'll see who enrolls. But the idea of the pod is to limit cross-contamination, for the lack of a better word. to help to be able to isolate each other still within these groupings. Um, what else do I have to say about the pods? That siblings, learning, engaging, recess, and lunch. That's another thing that the pod facilitators will ensure that they are taking a break, that they're taking care of themselves, that they are feeding themselves. You will be packing a lunch. We will not be providing food at this time. And the facilitators, the staff members will make sure that they're taking care of their personal needs, from eating to the restroom and so forth, but also being there for them in a social emotional way. This can be difficult. A big thing that the staff and I will be talking about is how to make the children comfortable, how to allow them to socialize in their groups, how to allow them to be with other friends on a daily basis and feel comfortable. So over the last several weeks, the Adat Ariel COVID-19 task force and myself have worked together to iron out what our protocols and procedures are for running this. If you go to our website, there's a FAQ page. There are different tabs that touch upon every different aspect of how are we addressing the COVID-19 aspect of this. I'm not going to get into the great detail of it. It's all written down extensively. Just I want to convey to you that we are going to be doing what in our collective thinking is best practice to ensure the safety of all the children, to ensure the health of all the children and all the staff within Adat Ariel. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell. I'm really excited about this, and I hope you are too. And I hope that you go and share this with your friends and let people know. I know it's not that great of a showing tonight, but this is new. Everything that's new starts somewhere, and we're starting, and we're going to make this happen. This is going to be another excellent program that Adat Ariel offers people, and I'm just so excited to have you here and to be able to do this with all of you. So yeah, and now we're at our Q&A section of the evening. Herschel, are you there?
I'm here. Hi, everybody. My name is Herschel Bliefeld. I am the Director of Communications. I apologize. I have a little bit of a raspy voice, but I don't know if you've seen the air outside. It's not great. And we have just a few questions so far. So I'll start with the first one. Can you talk a little bit more about the staffing? Who are we targeting to be working with the kids? Are there different skill levels for the different age groups? And how is it going to work in terms of the pods?
Great question. I'm sorry I didn't touch upon that. One of our staff members is actually on here right now, who is going to be working with us. It's Michael Weinstock, who currently works in the Early Childhood Center. Those of you that do know him know that he's a rock star. Those of you that don't know him don't know that he's a rock star yet. But he is an amazing, compassionate human being that has the patience of 7 saints, and is just an all-around great person. And I'm very just honored to be able to work with you, and honored to have you, Michael, because you're listening, be part of this. He is one of them. In terms of the staff, we're also looking, we're interviewing other people over the course of the weeks and bringing them in. We have some great potential people to bring in, people you know already probably. But know this, and sometimes I try not to be too cocky. I only try to hire the best people. I really do. Just the best of the best. And that's what we're looking for. People that can help and support your children in their learning in the classroom and outside of the classroom. So yeah, in terms of when you ask skill levels, in terms of what they're working on, everyone will be able to support them in what they need there. They're not tutors per se, so they're not necessarily going to be, French experts. I don't think any of us are doing French, but they'll be able to support them.
Great. Here's a safety question. Will the staff be tested for COVID? Is there any protocol in place to have ongoing testing, or is it just sort of a one and done kind of thing, if you do it at all?
So, Ori, I'll take that. We are working on general protocols and procedures for Adat Ariel through our COVID task force. I will say that currently we don't believe that testing, especially one and done, it's not really a practice that is going to be helpful. We're going to have health screenings. We're going to take temperatures. Health screenings will actually be embedded into the website before each day. People have to fill them out. And then when they come on campus, there's a temperature check. Unfortunately, testing, is only going to give an answer about when they took the test. So on an ongoing basis, it's an impossible way to measure what's going on. At the beginning, we could measure it and say, okay, so all these people didn't have it at this point, but we've also reviewed a lot of schools, camps over the summer that absolutely required testing and then had massive outbreaks. The key, I think, for us is to follow the protocols that are recommended by the county, wearing masks, washing hands often, doing health screenings, and taking temperatures.
Great. Here is a question about sort of the administrative piece of it. When will it start? Sorry, it's a many piece part question. When will it start? What are the hours? How much is it going to cost?
The only part that's missing on our website of that is, and we should rectify that, is the start date. October 5th is when we are aiming to start this program. October 5th seems like a great date to start. In terms of the schedule, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. is what we're looking at. And then in terms of the pricing, there is pricing for members of the synagogue, which is $400 a week. For non-members of the synagogue, it's $425 a week. And for day school family only, we were able to figure out a way to really help and support those that are community members and are paying for our day school on top of it. And that's going to be $275 a week. And that we ask people to sign up for multiple weeks at a time in order for us to continue to run this. And each month we will be asking 2 weeks before the next month to re-sign up.
During the time of COVID-19, will there be any option to sign up for individual days or by the week? Or is it really more of a long-term commitment or a block of time commitment because you want to isolate those kids, have them together, and have them be safe and healthy for an extended period of time?
Thank you for answering the question within the question. Yes. The idea is to keep our pods as consistent as possible. And we want people to sign up for blocks at a time. If somebody wants to sign up to come 2 days a week, they're still paying for 5 days a week, and they can just show up 2 days a week. Because that's what needs to happen in order for this to run. But it is, I would love to be able to offer flexibility, but at this time we just can't. When we are a after-school program, yes, there will be those options, but right now we just have to keep things consistent. The continuity is so important.
Great. This is a question that is, I think, for further down the road, but I think it's something that's could be addressed now and should be addressed now. What happens when schools will go back in person? And it's interesting that we were just talking about this before we came live in the room tonight.
When schools go back in person, hopefully you'll need care from 3 to 6, and we are an after-school program. That's what Adat Plus is in its core, is childcare. So it's after-school programming with an enrichment component where we're bringing in, whatever it may be, from young ninjas to gymnastics to dance to different music outlets to soccer to basketball. We have an amazing facility at Adat Ariel, and I personally am looking forward, and I know Eric is as well, is bringing a theater group, doing a children's theater at Adat Ariel, and that's all going to be under the umbrella of Adat Plus to have that, and that's actually part of our quirky history of what Rabbi Rothblum left his mark on our community, and I would love to bring that back and have a children's theater at Adat Ariel again.
I've gotten several questions about this specific scenario. If people are at home for their pods and finish up for the day, is there a half-day pod option, or is that not feasible given all of the parameters that we have to follow right now?
It really is a question of numbers. We will not be adding children to pods, and we won't be merging them. Everything is an issue of numbers at the end of the day. If we can figure it out, let's figure it out. Everything's on the table, though. If it's an option, it's an option. That makes
Can you
sense.
talk about, Ori, can you talk a little bit about what that looked like? So if there is a pod of people who are interested in just like a 3-hour block of time, regardless of age, would they be all put together?
Yes. So if there was if there was enough for a pot of people that wanted 3 to 6, we would figure that out.
And that staff person also would not be assigned to any other group throughout the day.
Absolutely.
Great. This is a question that came in. Again, I'm not sure how applicable it is to the COVID-19 protocols, but for afterwards, will it cost extra if there is an academic component to it at any point?
Any clear, Eric? Do you understand?
Well, I mean, the plan is not to add any academics unless we enter into the kind of extracurricular space, the after-school space. There could be some things like a homework club or reading club where it is more educator supervised. There wouldn't be an extra cost to that. The cost for the time would be the cost for the time.
Right. And the cost for the time, the way the program is configured now, includes the supervision for the kids who do come and are attending school with their pod.
Yeah, correct.
Great. Shockingly, that is all the questions that I have at this moment. If somebody else would like to ask a question, that would be great. Oh, we just got one. Will this replace aftercare at the day school once we're back in person? It's a good question.
It will, yes. It won't be much different in what we've done, but actually right before, well, not right before COVID, but it was just about 10 months ago, Julie Snitzer-Levine, our JLC, religious school director, and Shara Peters, our now former head of school, had actually started to lay their groundwork to do this after school stuff. Do the programming so that we would basically replace. Same thing with the ECC. They have an aftercare program. It'll be under this umbrella, all of it.
I know you touched on this earlier, but it's a little bit more specific. Will this program be offered to non-Adat members? You talked about the pricing for that, but if a family felt like they could form a pod, how would that work within what you guys are trying to do?
If you want to help us form a pod with your,
Yeah, I think what
They
they're
don't have to be,
implying.
yeah, they don't have to be Adat
Yeah.
members. You can get together with your friends that go to your school or wherever. You know, it could be people you're podding with now, and move that pod onto our campus.
And
The only difference
oh,
would be is if somebody wasn't an Adat member, it would be that price. If somebody was, it would be the other price. And if it's a day school family, it would be the third price.
would kids have desk space to store any supplies, or does everything have to come with them per day and be brought home at the end of the day? It's a good question.
so we prefer it as much as possible for things not to move around. And so to have some of their core things stay, of course, lunch boxes are going back and forth. Their computer, their device would go home with them. But certain things, absolutely, they're going to have their dedicated space. They're not going to be switching desks around or choosing different desks every day. That's their dedicated space for work. And as much as possible, we'd like us to not move around.
One more question about staffing that just came in, especially for the youngers, if they were interested. Will the staff be able to escort them if they needed help in the restroom or anything like that? How would that work?
Yes, staff will escort them to the restroom. Also for olders, they will be going in groups because when you go in groups, it ensures greater safety. The restrooms are convenient. We will make sure that the youngers have restrooms conveniently located to them and figure all that out. The logistics of their personal care will very much be taken in consideration, and we make sure that they're comfortable, because a child who is anxious about their own personal care, they can't do anything else but focus on that. And so it is very important that we know what we're doing in that regard.
What is the PPE going to look like for staff members? What is going to be required of kids?
Staff members will be wearing masks throughout. Kids will be wearing masks throughout the duration there. We ask that you make sure your child's mask is clean. We will have additional masks if needed. In terms of face shields, if anyone chooses to wear one, they're welcome to. What else am I missing, Eric?
Yeah, but they would still have to have a mask on.
Yeah.
So just so everybody's aware, the county guideline for it is that masks have to be worn at all times, and that's what we'll do in here. It's a little bit easier since it's not that kind of environment where we're teaching the kids, and there's more of a focus on being able to see the teacher's face. They're supervising, stepping in for parents. So it should be appropriate that we just follow the guideline.
So here, following up on that, this is just a little bit more detail. Obviously, if the staff is there and sort of curating the day for them and helping different students get through, if they're walking from desk to desk or they have to approach and then somebody needs something quickly, what is the responsibility of the staff person to sanitize, clean their hands, wear gloves, things like that? How do you envision that working?
So they won't be wearing gloves, and I think there's more information now that we have on what to actually pass through surfaces. That it's more about, you know, spittle and breathing it in and all that. But every pod area will have cleaning supplies that are replenished on a daily basis, and the staff member will have to be wiping things down throughout the day, cleaning at the end of the day, and then maintenance does a deeper clean.
And that is all I have.
All right.
If that is it,
Oh wait, there is one more question. Sorry.
Is it from Leah Rosenzweig?
No, it's from Annette Charvy.
Oh, because I saw
Appreciate the
Leah
question.
laughing.
We appreciate the question. We appreciate. This is actually a good question that we should answer. Is this outdoor, indoor, or a hybrid of both?
Indoor. It's indoor, but we are using our bigger social room and Farber Auditorium, our bigger spaces. And also we have updated our air filter system throughout all of the buildings. I think they're still putting them in now to have the CDC recommended air filters.
What I'll add to that is when possible, we will be eating outside as often as possible. One, so they can get fresh air. Two, being outside allows for the aerosolness of our breath to dissipate better, especially while we're eating. They will eat a distance from each other, but hopefully during eating times, they can have socialization time. I feel for these children. They need to interact with one another. And I'm happy that we can get to facilitate that, some semblance of it. And so, yeah.
We just got one more question. This is interesting. We'll see if you guys even have knowledge of it. Do you know any other programs that have been doing something similar to this? How successful have they been?
Yes. I've actually contacted several programs. A good friend of mine, actually a program that I started in Palo Alto when I worked at the Palo Alto JCC is still going strong, and it's much better without me. It is a phenomenal program up there that services hundreds of school-aged children. They're doing it quite successfully. The current director of the program and I have chatted multiple times. He's provided me with multiple resources for this, and he's doing really well. He said the only issue right now, and this was a few weeks ago, was the air quality. And now we have that air quality. It was the fires up there that they were struggling with. But he's doing well. I also called the director of the JCC in Dallas, Texas, who has been doing this for quite some time. He said they're quite successful with it. He informed me, and everyone has similar protocols and procedures that they put in place, and they're doable and they're successful, and it is a godsend to many of these families. And that's what we're looking to do for our community and others, is support them in this time.
Will there be any more town halls?
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to do more town halls regarding this program, especially probably at least one more before we get started, ongoing, including general town halls about our day school holds them regularly, our JLC, and our preschool. So we're going to continue this culture of town halls because we understand that it's a good way to communicate, listen to what your questions are that we can help fill in. And then I mentioned earlier, if you weren't on, that there's now a drop down on our website under the Who We Are tab. There's a title that says Town Halls. If you click on that, it has the 3 most recent town halls we've had, the recordings. This one will be on there as well, and we will continue to add to that library as we move through the year.
That concludes the questions. I'm waiting. I'm watching.
Are you
to see
sure?
if anything else comes out. I know. Every single time I've said that, somebody's come in
I'll
with
do
another
this.
question.
I'll buy some time by saying this, and I've said this multiple times, and I'm going to speak for Eric. We're really excited about this. Please, you were here, you listened to us, spread the word with your friends. Let them know that this is going to be a really, really cool thing. During COVID, we're going to do what we need to do, and then afterwards, we're going to have this dynamic after-school program that is going to be amazing for everyone within our community. And in addition to all of that I just said, you know where to reach us. So if you have any follow-up questions, please, please, please don't hesitate to email myself or Eric and ask whatever you want to ask. Often Eric and I will just pick up the phone and call you and talk. So let us know. Any other question? Herschel, did anything come in while I was doing that?
I think for the 5th, I feel like an auctioneer, but I think we're good. Going once.
Thank you, everybody.
This is great. Thank you so much for being here.